The Green River is Kentucky's longest river system, and it's the location of the biggest muskie I've ever landed. Now, I'm putting years of experience and better equipment to the test by exploring this landmark in the heartland of Kentucky. From chasing largemouth to catching a few surprise catches, we spend a few days on the waters of Green River Lake. All of that and more on this episode of Tackle Jocks. There's a little bass. Little tiny fella starting off the day. Look at there, that is a bass with a hungry appetite right there. Coming up and eating a jig that will surely would have sustained him for a couple of weeks. Appreciate you, buddy. We're out here on Green River Lake, and as you can see, it is a beautiful August morning out here. Throwing the LOGAN baits jig right here. And on the back, as the trailer, we have, of course, the Nico Crawl. And this is the lightning bug color. Got a few other lures we're going to try out today. But that's a really good start right there. That's what we're looking for. Almost instantaneous take. Throwing it up next to some cover. That is a really fun jig bite. Going to be exploring some places that we have not been today out here on Green River Lake. And this is a very large lake, especially for kayak standards. This is a 3,300 acre lake. But that means that there's plenty of water to explore and cast at. So now let's see if we can put two and two together and get some big bass. No way, dude. No way. That is how we're starting today. I seriously cannot tell you how many times this year I have caught catfish when I'm bass fishing using a bass rig. Stop thrashing, buddy. I just want to show you off. Look at that. That is a beautiful channel cat coming on the chatterbait and flaccid shad. Okay, buddy. Let's take one more look at this beautiful channel cat. We're just going to drop him right in right here. If he will stop biting my grippers. There we go. Whew. They're always a pain to get off. Whew. Let me tell you, that sucker slammed it. That is a good sign. Might be throwing the chatterbait today, boys. That's a fish. Awesome bass. That's a decent bass right there. Oh, little jumper. That is going to be the second fish landed on the chatterbait. Absolutely slammed. As you can see, hooked in the top lip. Had to curl it around. Chase baits, flaccid shad, and the jackhammer. Beautiful. Green River Lake Largie. Green River Lake Largie. Jesus. That's a really good sign though. Hopefully that keeps up. Jesus Christ. No, you should definitely get closer next time. You should definitely get closer. This lake is only 3,300 acres. It's okay. Watch me catch this fish, buddy. Watch me catch this fish. That's about right. It's not a bad bass either. Get in there, buddy. That is actually a Kentucky spotted bass from the look of it. It certainly is a Kentucky spotted bass. This is going to be my first Kentucky spotted bass out of this lake. Ooh. I mean, we are in Kentucky, you know, but hey, wow, these guys literally blew down right in front of me, right past these fish. We're gonna send them back in here before we get screwed by this wake right here. I think they can get close to me. They should definitely get closer to me next time. Love boaters. There's a fish. Little tiny guy this time. Now we are back to largies. Look at that. Chatterbait. A beautiful little green bass. Appreciate you, buddy. Oh my goodness, I don't know what this is. This is a good fish, whatever it is. Oh, I just spit it. That was a good bass right there. We'll take that. Such a subtle take today. Have it. I continue to make my way upstream as we followed the only pattern I'd been able to pick up, that being the chatterbait in shallow water. But this was really shallow water. At only a few feet in most places, the upper end of this lake is a stark contrast to the lower end. But shallow flats and wooden cover give these bass plenty of places to sit in this creek mouth. And this bass was about to teach me the lesson not to sleep on these fish hiding up here in this upper end. It is such a subtle do-nothing bite, and he jumped out of the net. That is hilarious. Jumped out of the net and spit it at the same time. Now that we had developed a consistent pattern, it was time to experiment. With these bass chasing shad and generally being very reactive, I decided to whip out the buzzbait and give it a few casts. As I previously mentioned, this water gets very shallow, and although it can be a few feet deep, in a lot of the places near the bank it's inches deep. That made the buzzbait a perfect choice for these very shallow flat conditions. Wood cover, murky water, and a slight breeze are perfect conditions to be throwing this lure. And there was plenty of that today at this lake. Luckily for me, this experimentation was about to pay off, and prove to me that these bass can be pushed up in inches of water. There's a bass. There, boys, the oldie buzzbait bass. That is a weird looking bass. Got a hump on him. We're gonna send him back to get him back in fast. Whew, that's the first one on the buzzbait though. I was kind of beginning to wonder if they'd eat that today. After a few minutes of casting after I caught this bass, I decided it was time to get back to our original pattern of the chatterbait. And as we pushed into inches of water in this tiny cutout, we got our reward of the biggest bass of the day. That was literally the first cast as soon as we turned on the GoPro. Nice, look at that. That is a chunky, healthy green and silver Kentucky largemouth bass. Whew, absolutely gorgeous. Chunky little fella coming on the flaccid shad and jackhammer. Beautiful bass. Send you back, baby. Appreciate you. Had to do a quick retie. We've been in a lot of wood today, a lot of rock. So even though mono is resistant to abrasion, we still had some. Especially since I can't cast and I'm throwing it in the trees. And eventually, after a day of bass fishing, paddling and pedaling, we made it to the destination that I'd come here to see. Although it may not be apparently evident, this lake was recovering from flooding from earlier in the year. And I had come here to see the damage that was done. And when I got here, I was truly in awe of how powerful nature can be. Record flooding had rocked this region of Kentucky at the beginning of this year. And with this river being a tributary to the Ohio River, it was also seeing record flooding. And after I took in the surrounding scenery, it was time to explore a place I had only seen on Google Maps and the overhead bridge. This tiny creek mouth is one of the few sources of fresh water that come into this lake. On today's outing, it's only a few feet deep, even in the deepest holes. But at the time of its peak in February, it's crazy to imagine, but most of the trees and shrubbery surrounding me in this video would have been completely submerged. Alright guys, we've made it up to the uppermost sections of this lake. This is Elkhorn Creek, at least I believe that's the name. I'm not terribly familiar with this area. However, something I am familiar with is the flooding that occurred this February in this lake specifically. Where I'm standing right now would have been 30 feet underwater. I don't know if you guys can see, but up on that bridge column, there's some blue graffiti up there. That blue graffiti line is where the water line was, so it was absolutely insane how much water was coming through this lake. This is a 3,300 acre lake. And that is where the water line was. I would have been 30 to 35 feet underwater standing where I am right now. This entire little channel right here, this little canal that they've got built, all these trees, everything, literally everything was underwater. And it's crazy how fast they've recovered since that's happened. It did take them a while, to be fair, but it's very encouraging to see them like this right now. Unfortunately though, we don't have very much time left. It's already 1 o'clock right now. So we've got to start heading back to the car, especially if we want to be able to explore some more of this beautiful lake. So guys, let's go ahead and get back into the water. Fish. Just don't realize it was hooked. Little tiny bass. I'll come up here, get green back. Look at that, that's a beautiful bass. Oh wow. Hooked perfectly. I mean, he took it so well. They are eating the chatterbait and the flaccid shad today, let me tell you. Although there's plenty of water to be fished in this lake, there's only so much time in the day. We explored a few more places and found some very cool fishing spots. But eventually, this day came to a close. And a couple of days later, we were back out really early in the morning to try to capitalize on the pattern that we had developed. That was from that little guy. Get up here, buddy. Wow, oh wow, he actually just spit it. That's crazy. First bass of the day, coming on the jig. Looky there, boys. Beautiful silver and green taco. That is a Green River Lake largemouth right there. We're back at Green River Lake, fishing the same section of lake we were at last time, so hopefully it pans out the same way too. We got some overcast today. We got a lot less wind, so I'll be able to fish the jig a lot more efficiently. So hopefully it pans out. Let's see how it goes. Huh, I think that's a bluegill. That was a good fish. I did not feel that fish eat though. there. Wow, look at that, boys. That is a beautiful little fish. I'll send him right back. It's not the species we're going for, but we'll take it. Oh, that's a good fish, whatever that is. What is this? No way. Dude, there's actually no way. This literally will not stop happening. Look at that. That is the second fish of the day. Almost back to back on our cast right there. I cannot believe we just caught another channel cat. That's crazy. That makes the second time this video, and I can't even tell you how many times this year I've caught channel cats throwing bass at them. We caught that on the 1/2 ounce Damiki vault. I decided to start throwing it instead of the chatterbait. That way I could get the vault a little bit deeper, and we can still be moving something fast like a chatterbait while fishing the deep water. So we still got a lot of this stretch to fish before we move on to a new area. Let's get to it. That's a fish. Oh, stop that. Is that another catfish? There's no way. Nope, it's not. These are little bass. These are the ones you gotta worry about though. These are the ones that'll get you hooked. Look at that. That's a beautiful little bass. We gotta climb the ladder today, but that is a good start. At least they're biting right now. You guys already know we like to go for those 18 inchers, those lap hog largies. We'll appreciate anything that bites, of course. Oh, wow. Nice. Looky there, boys. Honestly thought this was gonna be a bass with the way this fish ate. Nice, looky there. Look at that for a paper mouth. Okay, we're gonna send him back in quick. That was a beautiful crappie. Oh, I didn't even feel this fish eat. Look at that, a little tiny largemouth. I didn't even feel him eat. That is insane to me. That little tiny guy ate this jig right here. Didn't even feel it. There's a bass. Get up here, buddy. Looky there, boys. That's a beautiful fish right there. Not a lot of size today. But hey, at least we're getting him to bite. Beautiful fish right there. Appreciate you, buddy. Little greenback. We like to see, boys. Beginning to question, there are even largies in this lake. Yeah, buddy. He absolutely choked on that. Look at that. Hooked in the side of the mouth. Just twist it and pop it. Beautiful green largemouth bass right there. That's a Kentucky largie right there. A big splash for us. And after a successful second day on the water, it was time to take what we had learned in the shallow section of the lake and apply that to the much deeper water. Because for the third and final day, we decided to fish the lower end of the lake. We got out really early in the morning on this day. I wanted to have the best conditions possible. And luckily, this decision to get up early was about to pay off in a major way. There's a fish. Oh, that's a good bass. for the first bass of the day. Wow. Looky there, boys. That is going to be the first Green River lap hog, no doubt. That right there is a lap hog largie. Let's pop this out. Hooks so well. Going on the flaccid shad and jackhammer. Early morning. And let's get a lap hog. Picking this guy before these boaters see me holding this guy. Otherwise, they will be on their way down here to come and try to catch some bass right here in front. That is an 18 and a half. That is what we were hoping to start with today. Look at that. That's a beautiful, gorgeous fish coming out of Green River Lake. A little bit pale, but still very healthy. And that's what we're after today. I'm hoping it's third time's a charm out here exploring the Green River Lake today. And it's already got us a lap hog largie. So, boys, we've got a few different lures we're gonna try, a few different places we're gonna try, and a lot deeper water. Hopefully, it'll pay off today with a lot bigger fish. Oh, there's a fish. That's a good one. Fish has not come to the surface yet. And that's because it's a log. Love to see it, dude.
So it was obvious I was going to be trigger happy for the rest of the day, especially after that first bass that we caught. And maybe that was a good thing, because minutes later we were hooked up to a solid fish.
I got hammered. Oh, that got absolutely blasted. Oh, it's because it's a catfish. It's a catfish.
I know some fishermen are annoyed or even disheartened when they hook up to this species, but for me there's nothing quite like a catfish fight. And although some anglers will be quick to categorize this fish as a trash fish,
oh man, that's crazy.
There's nothing that brings out that boyish wonder like a solid cat.
There we go. Wow. Third time's a charm, and literally 3 days in a row that we've come over here, we've caught a catfish, and this is the biggest of the time. Biggest of them all. Look at this fish. Looky there, boys. I don't know what it is with my luck this year and channel cats, especially in Kentucky. But these Kentucky channel cats are coming up and eating these bass lures like crazy. And look at that's a beautiful fish. Absolutely gorgeous, and gave me a great fight too. I thought it was going to be a hog bass. Okay, that's where we always have trouble, is the release. Let's go, boys. That is another one on the board and another species. We're taking what we learned in shallower water in the same body of water, a huge, massive lake here, and we're coming out here and applying it to deeper sections of water. And thankfully, it looks like we run into some bigger fish, so hopefully the trend continues. Wow. I did not even feel that little bass on. That is crazy. There, that is a feisty little Kentucky spotted bass coming up and eating the jig. Oh, look at that, that's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful fish. Another species off the list.
But little did I know at the time that another species was waiting right around this point. And not only is it a rare species for Kentucky, it's one of my favorite fish species on this planet.
Smallie. Yes. I've been wanting to catch a Kentucky smallmouth bass in a lake for so long. Whew, I cannot tell you how much I love smallmouth bass, and look at the way this fish ate this. Absolutely slammed it and had it wrapped around in its mouth. Beautiful little Kentucky smallmouth bass. We're gonna send him back. Appreciate you, buddy. Come on, jackhammer and flaccid shad. Let's go. Even that little guy slammed it. That was so fun.
Having any luck?
I've caught a few. It's died down a lot since the sun came out though.
As that sun come up.
Yeah. That's why I thought I'd come try the shade over here. Or call it quits today.
That's a neat little boat.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. It's good for days like this where it's like a little bit of chop on the water.
All pedal power, huh?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I wasn't even sure if I was allowed to fish this marina. Luckily, I did strike up a conversation with a few of the dock residents here. Most of them were really chill and open to the idea of fishing the docks. And given that this was the only shade on the lake, I thought this would be a killer place to try for our first time over here. I even decided to stand up on my kayak so I could get the best angles at casting. But even with this wishful thinking, it was time to wrap things up. With no bites at this marina, it was time to call it quits on our final day. It had been a long day, and I was certainly exhausted, but in the end, I think it was totally worth the effort.
It's my first time back at this marina, and unfortunately there's a sign here that says no fishing, because it is the only bit of shade on the lake right now. You got bluebird skies, a little bit of scattered clouds every once in a while, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to fish this marina, so we're going to head back to the launch ramp. We'll troll along the way, try a few different places as well. But I really like the look of it back in here. It looks really good.
If you made it this far, then I want to thank you for watching this video. This was my first true experience on Green River Lake, and I gotta say, I'm impressed. But this isn't the first time I've explored some Kentucky waterways, so if you want to see more videos similar to this, then be sure to check out this playlist right here.